Hello, everyone. Welcome to Digital Charcuterie. My name is James. Thank you so much for stopping by. This is going to be my review of Weapons, which just dropped on streaming. And I want to know what you guys thought of Weapons in the comments down below. Were you a fan or were you disappointed with Zach Cregger's film? I'm going to get into it. I got to say right from the get-go, I heard so much about this movie. I was excited to see it. And I got to say, for the most part, it did not disappoint. It lived up to 90% of the hype. I'll say that, 90% of the hype. I thought it was a really great movie. This movie is shot spectacularly. Cregger went out of his way to make a beautiful looking film. The cinematography is exquisite. The camera work, non-stop movement. What I loved about this was before you get to know the characters, you just see them from behind. You have to earn your way. The movie has to earn its way to get you to see the face of the characters within it. First time you see Josh Brolin, from the back. First time you see Julia Garner, from the back. It's just fantastic. And the walking, the movement, the camera tracking, I loved every aspect of it. The storytelling was spectacular in this. I gotta also point out that it was a lot funnier than I anticipated. I walked into this not knowing how funny it was. There was one part when I was genuinely laughing out loud, and my wife turned to me and said, "What are you laughing at?" I'm like, this is like a comedy scene. It was hilarious. And that's what helped make the jump scares so successful. I will say this movie has several jump scares, one of which terrified the crap out of me. Like I was full scream mode. Like I yelled out loud and I almost woke up our 3-year-old daughter who was sleeping. Like it was just a full-on scream. And I thought it was spectacular. I don't want to ruin it. I'm not going to go into too much into spoilers. There will be some spoilers going forward in the movie. But I just want to get that out of the way. Like there are some good scares, a lot of humor, and some little surprises here and there. But it starts off very strong. We have a bunch of kids, 17 kids go missing from a classroom. Only one is in the classroom. Why? We don't know. The teacher suspects this child might know something, but the principal's like, you can't go near that kid. We learn that the teacher has like a shady kind of past. She had a DUI. We see she's an alcoholic. She drinks a lot in this movie, quite a lot. She's having an affair with a police officer played by Han Solo. She's having an affair with him. The movie is constructed in a non-linear, chapter-based fashion, all based on characters that we need to know to get to the punchline, to get to the finale of this all. So you start off with the teacher, you go into Josh Brolin, you go into the cop, you go into a drug addict, and you go on to Gladys herself. And we go through all of these characters to get to the bottom of what's going on. And I will say, this movie had me intrigued the whole way through, but I was concerned how it was going to land, what was going to be the purpose for all of this. We are told at 2:17 a.m. that the kids go missing, and they know it's 2:17 a.m. because that's when the cameras on the doorbells and all of the alarms and all that tell the cops that it was 2:17 a.m. Why 2:17 a.m.? That was a disappointment to me. It just happened to be the time. Just happened to be the time. There was such a big deal made out of 2:17 a.m. I was kind of hoping for something big there. Also, the whole reason for this to come, it just kind of ended up being too predictable for me. Look, I really enjoyed the movie. I think on multiple views, that won't affect me too much. But watching it for the first time, I was expecting something grand, like just something out of left field. But the minute the Aunt Gladys character is introduced, I turned to my wife and I said, "Oh, she's using their youth to keep her alive." Like that was the minute she showed up looking as weird as she did, that was the first thing that crossed my mind, and that's what ended up playing out. And I was kind of like, "Ah, man." I was hoping for something bigger, something more shocking that I hadn't seen, something out of left field. Like I felt like I had seen that before. All that being said, though, they did it spectacularly. It didn't ruin it. I loved what they did with the boy who survived with his parents, the one boy who wasn't taken. What Gladys did with his parents, I thought that was phenomenal. The way she had them stabbing themselves in the face and using them as weapons, as the title would suggest. I loved all of that. I loved the clues, the way Josh Brolin ended up working with the teacher to get to the points to figure it all out and then figure out that all culminates on the house. I love the way they use the cop character and the drug addict to get towards the end as well. I will say afterwards, I was like, oh yeah, so the two characters that are very much unlikable, even though the drug addict was very likable, he was a drug addict and had a lot of problems and he was stealing from people and he had, no remorse for anything. He was a drug addict, and it was him and the cheating jerk face cop were the two characters that were disposable in the movie. But, and this part I loved, what I did love about the ending, what I did love about the ending was that you find out that the kids get saved. The boy who survived ends up saving the kids and everything, which again, a little predictable. But what I loved about it was that it's a happy ending, but it's not a happy ending. Some of the kids just started to speak again whenever this story is being related to us. And we know that the parents of the one child who was around, they're like in a mental institution now because they're not talking. They stab themselves in the face. Like, they're real trauma that hit the characters that are affected by the events of Gladys in this movie. And I really like that aspect of it. I like that you're like, okay, yay, we got the kids back, but they are messed up. Like, there might be no coming back from this. This is damage far beyond psychiatry, I think, for a lot of them. Some of them, it sounded like they were going to be okay. But for the most part, I think, they're going to be damaged for a long, long time. I like that there was a fun cameo from Justin Long in this as well, who was in Barbarian before. Zach Cregger worked before that. I really like that. There's a lot of this. This movie is it's really good. It keeps you going. It keeps you entertained, which is the key aspect of all of it. And again, it is one of the nicest, most beautiful looking movies I've seen in a long time. And for a horror movie, while it does go on the little gory routes every once in a while, you see, heads being blown up here and there, faces being stabbed with forks, it's not grotesque necessarily. I don't think it's ever really grotesque. It doesn't try to be. It's not that kind of movie. It wants to get you in your mind. It wants to get in your mind, in your headspace, and then it wants to hit you with a jump scare here, hit you with a fact here, and keep you guessing. What is going on? What is going on? And that's part of the genius of the structure of this film, is that you don't know what's going on because at the minute you get to a place, they pull you back and they're like, now we got to tell you from this person's point of view. Okay, this person's point of view. And eventually you get to the end. And again, for me, the minute Gladys showed up, it was kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, all kind of what I suspected it was going to be. I will say the principal and his husband or boyfriend, whatever they were, that was wild when he bashes his head. He bashes his husband's head in with his head, just because you see like the voodoo act that's being portrayed by the supernatural act, whatever it's supposed to be, by Gladys, and you learn what's going on. The other thing too is there's one really creepy moment in this where the teacher is kind of stalking the house, and she stays outside the house and she's drinking alcohol in her big gulp cup, and she's sitting outside the house, and it's, it is what it is. And then all of a sudden the front door opens and she passes out and the front door opens. And the mom, who's kind of been like just dead on the couch with her husband this whole time, comes out with scissors in her hand and kind of does like this wobbly walk to the car. And then she looks in the window and then walks around the back. And you don't see, you just hear the door open and the door shuts. And it's one of the creepiest scenes I've seen in a long, just creepy. And then she cuts off the teacher's hair, a lock of the teacher's hair, which gets used later on. And as creepy as that scene is, I felt the payoff to the scene wasn't spectacular. This woman, Gladys, can kind of control anybody she wants if she has like a lock of their hair or belonging of theirs. And she just uses the hair to get the principal to chase her, which is a great scene also, but it's kind of like, well, why don't you do your magic on her? Like, why not just put her out? Like, that with little things like that kind of was like starting to add up, but it ended before it got out of hand. Because again, like, it's a really solid movie. I would definitely recommend it, especially to like horror fans or thriller fans. I think you get a kick out of this. It's a fun movie. It's a good ride. And if you're looking for a movie to watch this Halloween season, watch Weapons. Let me know your thoughts on the movie in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate your time. Hit the like button and subscribe. Until next time, maybe the master of your own universe.